Hey, how y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. I'm just hitting on buttons over here and making a whole mess. But happy Saturday, because technically it is Saturday morning. I haven't done a live in a while because I've been doing pre-recordeds. That's what I've been doing lately. But I figured I'd come on and do a live tonight. And tonight we will be discussing The Family Business Season 5, Episode 7, In Plain Sight. Of course, everything that is going to be in this review are everything is alleged and from my opinion only is used for entertainment purposes. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. I have questions as in regards to this episode. I have a lot of questions. I don't know if I'm getting the answers. Hopefully, this is going to wrap up or everything's going to come together as the season finishes playing out. But I have questions. I do have questions. But this episode starts out with where we are going to the cemetery where we will see Paris is on the phone receiving a call from Bobby, and he's asking her if she misses him and if she wanted to go out with him that night. She told him that, she'd think about it. And he was like, what is there to think about? Paris was like, let's see. I could either go out with you or I could go out with this other dude. And evidently, this other dude is some kind of rapper or something. He got to be some famous rapper because Bobby is like, a rapper? And she was like, yeah. So let's see. Do I want to go out with the rapper or do I want to go out with a boxer? She got options, Bobby. She got options. And evidently, you ain't at the top of her list of who she wants to go out with. So, she basically rushes him off the phone and pretty much hangs up in his face because he's still trying to talk and she done hung up. She had to hung up. But, she's out there because Curtis told her to meet him there because he had something that he wanted to show her. And like I said, they're at a cemetery and she makes the statement that, you got me out here. I hope you're taking me to Niles's grave. And he lets her know, Niles is a ghost. And they do go to the grave of Uncle Willie, and she finds out that Uncle Willie died 2 years ago, and they're saying that he died from COVID. And while they are there, they get shot at. Then they run behind the car and they're shooting back. And Curtis is like, what the heck? What's going on here? And she was like, is he trying to kill us? So Paris is like, well, at that close of a range, if he wanted us dead, we'd be dead. So, of course, it was a blue rose on the ground and she picks it up. And she said, to defeat a person like that, you have to think like a person like that. So he's like, where are you going? And she was like, to see somebody evidently that thinks like he do. The next thing we'll see Elsie meeting Katie at a restaurant. And Elsie is like, you didn't wait for me to get here to start eating this time. And Katie was like, he knew he wouldn't be there long enough to eat because, he has a point. He lets Elsie know that he killed Spike, which is the last guy he killed, and he wants to know what Elsie is up to. He lets Elsie know that he's not dealing with the average gangsters. He can't keep killing people, and Katie can't keep covering it up. Elsie tells Katie that he has a plan, and of course, Katie wants to know what the plan is because he's scared. He's scared at this point because Katie is like, look, I only got a few years left before I can retire. I'm trying to retire, and fooling with you all, he's gonna be like, instead of, because this is gonna be his insurance. He said, but fooling with LC, he gonna need an insurance card instead of AARP. Heck, he might not even need that because he keep the way he going. He gonna need a gasket because he gonna end up in the ground. But LC still doesn't answer him. He lets him know that he got a plan and he'll let him know. So he gets up and leaves. Next, we'll say Orlando and his son, they're boarding the plane and they're heading back home. The next thing we'll see is Dominique, Donna, and Antonio are talking about making sure Donna takes care of what she needs to. Donna is sitting there looking crazy, and Dominique states that, they got it. She'll be fine. Antonio lets her know that Dominique isn't who he's worried about. He's worried about Donna, of course. And they tell him there's no need to worry. She'll take care of it. During this conversation, which we'll find out later on, that this conversation that they had to do with Donna overhearing Brother Minister talking to his man, because he was sending him home early so he could warn LC about the dangers that were coming for his family. Because Brother Minister said he ain't feeling this. He's this not where it's at. He ain't about this, because y'all trying to kill innocent women. But at this point, we've determined Ruby isn't really innocent, but she hasn't done anything to Donna for them to want to kill her. However, during this, while they're in the room, Ruby calls Antonio, and she lets Antonio know that Vinny is dead and that it was her that killed him. Of course, Antonio, the first thing he goes, it says, it was Orlando. Orlando did it, right? And she was like, no, I did it. And of course, he didn't believe her at first, but she went to explain to him where the body was. She also told him the reason. Well, she told him, because he was like, you loved him. He loves you. He loved your son. And she's like, I never loved that joker. The only reason we even got married is because of my brother. And we know that. We know she ain't never loved him. And she didn't tell him the full reason why she killed him. She killed him because, she was trying to protect Orlando. So she riding for her man. But anywho, after she told Antonio where the body was, he said, well, I'm going to have to come after you. Homegirl said, catch me if you can. She said, catch me if you can. Because I guess Ruby finna show y'all she about that life. Y'all don't know nothing about Ruby. I guess we don't know nothing about Ruby, but we finna find out though. Next, we'll end up seeing where everyone is thanking Alejandro for being this gracious host. And you'll see where Donna tells the table, or should I say the alliance, that Antonio and her have talked out their differences. And they asked, how did that work out? She says they've come to an understanding as long as Donna holds up her end of the deal, which she states that she will the first opportunity she gets. Now, her end of the deal being as she overheard Brother Minister telling his man to go warn Elsie. So now she no longer has to make her bones with Ruby. Now she's going to make her bones with Brother Minister. And when Donna and Dominique and Brother Minister are riding in the car. They pull out the guns and stuff on him and call him a traitor because they was in the car being fake and phony. But they call him a traitor and lets him know that, they own to him. However, we don't know how the scene ends as far as with them. She may make her bones, she may not. We don't know. But it ends there. We don't see what actually happens. I can't say whether or not Brother Minister is gonna make it out this thing alive. I don't know. I hope he do, but I ain't gonna hold my breath because you got Dominique, who, she's a pretty good shot. So if she don't shoot him, the other lady that's behind him will. I can't. Donna might miss him for all we know, but the odds are stacked against Brother Minister, even though he's a trained assassin, because he's over the Brotherhood, which means he know how to kill people. Now, whether or not he's gonna do a very good job, or if he's gonna be able to survive on this 3-on-1, I don't know. I hope he do, but I don't know. But Antonio tells the group that he feels that he wants to take care of Ruby himself, because Junior wanted to ride back home with his mom, and basically, Antonio told him, there was no need to do that because she no longer had to make her bones with Ruby. She's now doing it with somebody else. Of course, at the table, Brother Minister was at the table. He didn't know at the time that he was going to be who they was going to have to make their bones on. I don't understand how he sat there at this place where all y'all know y'all trading, turning against other people. Why would you not check your surroundings? Who does that? Who doesn't check their surroundings to make sure nobody's listening? You over here at Alejandro's place, and you trying to snitch on whatever kind of little situation y'all go out here. This alliance, y'all snitching on this alliance, and everybody in this house outside of Donna is a killer, and nothing crosses your mind about I might need to pay attention and make sure nobody overhears me, because if somebody overhears me, they're gonna take me out of here. Brother Minister, you've been about this life too long for you not to have known to pay attention. That makes zero sense to me. It really doesn't. But then, Antonio lets them know that he wants to take care of Ruby himself. Next, we'll see Orlando arriving at home. Him and little Vincent arrive at home. He gets out of the car. The security guys speak to him. He go in the house. He calls his mom. So she'll come. He'll talk to his mom. He reintroduces his son, trying to see if his son remembers who his grandmother is. He remembers who his aunt is. And then, of course, later he'll see Vegas. And then we'll see all the kids, having fun, playing, games, little fight night. So, the family is going to be having fun. They're going to be chilling and enjoying little Vincent, little O, whatever y'all want to call him. Well, according to the birth certificate, his name is little Vincent, but we know is Orlando. But anyway, we'll see KD going to see Vegas while Vegas is in the spa, and he slips up on him, kind of takes Vegas by surprise. And Katie basically tells Vegas that he's running scared. He said, his dad he's trying to protect his investment. And Elsie is out here, picking off the Dixie Mafia one by one. So now, he's scared because he feel like Elsie done lost his mind. Now, what he think Vegas can do about what Elsie doing. I don't know. I felt like Vegas and Orlando. Well, Vegas mostly because Vegas was the one that pushed the issue mostly. And I do feel like Katie needs somebody to cap him. He always begging for somebody to buy him some food. You can buy your own food. What you doing? You can buy your own food and your own drink. You can buy me a drink. Buy your own stuff. You're a grown ass man. But anyway, he sit there and he explains to Orlando that, his dad is picking off the Dixie Mafia one by one. And we ended up finding out that the head of the Dixie Mafia is a senator. So it's ran by a senator. They also have the mayor, who is the guy that ends up dying in this episode. They had said the name, but I don't forgot what it was, and I didn't write it down. I guess it wasn't that important to me. But anyway, he's telling Vegas to go see the senators to check his temperature, and he's telling him that he might need to talk to him about getting him the black vote, being as the senator is a politician and he aspires to be president one day. And Vegas is like, so that's basically selling out our people. And Katie was like, I didn't say it was gonna be easy. I didn't say it was gonna be easy. But then these hard-headed people, instead of they said they was calling Elsie and calling Elsie and calling Elsie, they didn't get any answers. Now, what Elsie did or didn't do, we honestly do not know. We do know that he ended up talking to Christopher, who is on the Black Hamptons, and he was telling him about, he needed his help, and he felt like, he could help him because their candidate needs some backing or whatever the case may be. Don't know who the candidate is that needed some backing, and that's as much as we saw as it pertains to that. Now, we do feel like Elsie, killed somebody because he gets real horny after that's over with, and we'll see later on in episode where he gets home and he calls Chippy and tell her to bring her butt on up there so he can get a little freaky dick on, because he's sitting in the tub, with his little wine, and he about that life. He ready to get his groove on. But before we get there, you'll have Katie has told Vegas, what he needs to do according to them. But it screams set up, because Vegas, when he comes to the house, he asking everybody, have they seen Pop? Have they talked to Pop? Nobody has seen him. He's not answering his calls. He's not answering the phone for anybody. He asks his mom. His mom doesn't know where he is, and all she knows is he told her that he will be back later that night. So he's trying to help a situation that he really don't know a whole lot about. He's just going off of what Katie told him. And somebody need to unalive Katie, but that's me and my thoughts. However, he gets Orlando, talks to him, tell him, hey, we got to take a ride. This dealing with Pops is serious. And of course, Orlando doesn't want to go. He wants to stay there with his son. His son needs his medicine. And he was like, I need to be back tonight so I can give my son his medicine. Okay. He's like, cool, whatever. You'll be back tonight. So they take a ride, and they ride to Virginia. They ride all the way to Virginia. They ride like 6 hours away. And I would have thought somebody would have called back home and told, hey, Mom, I'm going to be late, whatever the case may be. So while they, ride into Virginia, LC comes home, and, he calls his wife and they upstairs, and they finna get they freaking dick thing on. But then the boys are in Virginia. They pull up to this abandoned. Curtis gives them an address, and of course, Orlando is still in his feelings as it relates to Curtis because of, well, they got their own issues. They've been having issues for a while, and it don't just stem from the Fresh Meadow situation, because they're like, Curtis is this great bounty hunter, but when we were looking for him, he couldn't find his father. But we all know he knew where his father was. He was very much aware of where his father was. So who wouldn't have? Well, he was protecting his father, so it is what it is. Vegas basically tells Orlando to let it go. Of course, he's not going to let it go, but he starts sulking or whatever. They pulled up to this abandoned warehouse, and they're like, this is an abandoned warehouse. Who would be here? They're like, of course, they're assuming no one's there. Then Vegas sees this really expensive car, and it was like, who would have that expensive of a car sitting in an old abandoned warehouse? So they get out the car and they go in the building, only to find out the person that's in the building is dead. Finito. Done. I forgot the guy's name. I forgot the guy's name. I really did. But they said he was the mayor. He was the mayor of this particular town. But when they get there, the guy's already dead. Whoever he is, he's already dead. And in walks the police, and arrests Orlando and Vegas. Now, my question is, did Elsie go kill this guy? Did Katie set this whole situation up because he was mad because Elsie wouldn't tell him what he was planning? Did Elsie have the politician's friends set him? I mean, it's a lot of questions that I got that I'm trying to answer. Because Ruby is no longer in New Orleans. She's no longer in New Orleans. She went back to Jamaica. Did she go to Jamaica was she back in Jamaica when Orlando left? Did Orlando know she was back in Jamaica? I mean, what's going on there? She trying to prove that she's a chippy number 2 or what? I don't know. I'm confused. I really am, because I want to know what's really going on. Of course, we'll see also in this episode where Nevada shows Rio where Brandon, the guy that had carjacked the mom, and Rio, they show in the news where he was, killed, and he wants to find out, how that happened, and he assumed that, it was because of drugs, gangs, or one of the above. And then Rio is like, he wants to see how he can find the friend now that the person he was originally looking for is no longer on the top side. So now he focusing his attention on Rome, not knowing Roman is his brother, or his triplet twin, whatever. And he's like, I wonder where I can find him at. And Nevada is like, I have an idea. I mean, the funeral is the next day. I would imagine if they are as close friends as they were pretending to be, or how it looked like they were as they out here robbing and doing stuff together, I would imagine he's going to be at that funeral. That's just me and my thoughts. I could be wrong, but I would imagine that he will be at the funeral. Now, we still got questions because Elsie hasn't answered the call from none of the kids. So we don't know how that's playing out. He don't know that his kids went to Virginia looking for him based off KD. So KD gonna have to get them out of jail. KD gonna have to do something because he the one that sent Vegas down there. So he gonna have to figure out a way to get them out without anything happening to them. Because in my mind, they didn't know who was picking them off. They didn't. But being as Orlando and Vegas done went down there, y'all done blew LC cover because LC was flying under the radar, taking everybody out. Now y'all done put the spotlight on them because like they gonna be like, now what are y'all doing here? So your dad got something to do with this. Y'all done put the spotlight on them. That's what y'all did. Y'all did it. And I don't like it. I do not like it. Then you got Lord. What all Paris went to see Elijah, which Elijah was telling her that she hadn't heard about Niles in a few months or whatever. And the last time he had heard about him, he was, who was that? Senor Cruz was trying to contract him to hire him to find who put the hit out on his son. So he was trying to hire Niles to get back at the person that killed his son, which was technically, it was Sage. And we know Sage is already dead, so he can't really kill her. But he can do something to her mom and dad, Dominique and Alexander Cora. Because if I'm not mistaken, Alexander was the one that ordered that hit. But hey, I digress. I think that is all I remember from this episode. I think it is all. I really do. I wasn't too thrilled with this episode. I really wasn't. I wasn't too happy with it. Hopefully the next episode, because I didn't like the facts of Donna and them doing Brother Minister the way they did. I didn't like how Vegas and Orlando done got captured in freaking Virginia. And Katie being a snake, even though we already knew Katie was a snake, right? We did. But I don't like it, y'all. I don't. But anyway, that is it. And that is all. I've been all over the place on this review, so I know I've been probably rambling. But please drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think about the episode? Did you like it? Do you have questions? Or maybe you got some answers. Either way it go, let me know. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And you guys have a wonderful night. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.